Hello everyone, Justin Victor here, one of your life leaders, and I'm super excited this week to talk about a fantastic subject brought up by Dr. Eric Gillian on what the difference is between illusion and non-existence. So I think I'm going to approach it by going over the most obvious things first and clarifying one issue because there tends to be a little bit of confusion and an absence of expansion into the term reality. And so I feel it's a very powerful word, and defining it is a whole discussion on its own. So I'm not going to use the word reality when I'm discussing it. I'll just say an essential experience. I don't want to delve into that word too much because I feel like it deserves its own acknowledgement in a different post with more information. So on kind of a basic level, illusion, as I see it, is where something that we perceive or experience alters that essential experience that's what's actually there. So it skews our perception. One of the best examples of this is probably when you're looking down at an angle into a body of water and light will refract, moving the image at a certain degree depending on the angle of incidence, the medium properties, and a whole slew of other aspects that would be attributed to that system. When you're looking at non-existence, I believe it's just something that's not there. It's like if I hold this hand out and say, there's an apple right here. I have an apple in that hand. There's nothing there. And that's kind of how I differentiate the two. So I'm going to speak into these each a little bit more to give my view on what they all mean. So fear is a big thing, and we know from this practice it's an absence of love. It's the same thing or concept with darkness. It's an absence of light. And so I believe those things imply a non-existence. They aren't really there. They're just the absence of something else. There's another way I like to look at emotions when it comes to things like anger, frustration, hate, and all of the related feelings we might have of that. I think those are an illusion. And why I believe this is because love is everywhere. It's all around us. If we open our conscious mind to the communication with our subconscious, and we realize that love is everything. Light is everything. There's information and energy everywhere, pervading everything that we know of and aren't consciously aware of. And so this is why I believe that those emotions that I discussed are an illusion. They are, as I see it, twisted forms of love that are filtered through the mind, which is our consciousness that I'm going to refer back to in situations that we perceive as hostile. And so that's very important for us because I look at this plane that we're in as a physical manifestation as being dominantly dictated by our emotions, our mind, and ego. And when I say that, I mean that it's very easy to give in to that side of us in whatever we're doing. But I don't see that in a negative way because I believe all of those things are very valuable. They allow us to look inwards, focus on more of an individual approach to things when we overreach and maybe we're doing too much. And so I also think that those are tickets for us that allow us to come out of that physical space of the origin and essence of who we are to enter this plane of physical manifestation. I know it's a lot, so there's one more example I want to bring up for an illusion, just to kind of clear up any sort of feelings of uncertainty that might exist there. One of my favorites is the concept, or rather, I guess it's more of an actual event, gravitational lensing. So when you have a large body that's massive and heavy, and it's full of energy like a star or a planet or maybe even a black hole, what you'll get if you have another body behind it, like a galaxy or some other luminous object, you'll actually see like a ring around it where that light is magnified, because it's bending around that object when you have a very dense mass, because it has the potential and ability to bend space and time. And one of my favorite depictions of this is in the movie Interstellar, where, like, as you'll see, I'll put something in right here. There'll be a picture of this black hole called Gargantua, which is a supermassive black hole. And as you can see from the top and bottom, there'll be rings on the top. Now, those aren't actually there. What you're seeing in the middle is the accretion disk, and it's essentially um, a revolving, a hot, gaseous material that is being pulled into the gravitational well past the event horizon, or maybe there's some skirting around outside of this black hole. So what you see on the top and bottom is that there's also this sort of arc there forming like a big halo around it. And when you get that, it mimics, or is rather a representation of that gravitational lensing that looks like the accretion disk is above and below, but it's not. So it's actually being filtered through the gravitational field of this massive body to form what we see. So that's probably one of my favorites. If you haven't seen that movie, go see it. It's fantastic. Of course, there's a lot of loopholes and that sort of thing. We don't know what happens when you get to the singularity and inside the black hole, but that was one of my favorite examples of an illusion. I hope this clears up any confusion you might have had on this topic. It definitely goes far beyond what we have in daily life and anything that we can conjure in our minds, but I'd appreciate any feedback and thoughts you guys have on my post, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future. Bye. Love you all.